Hello, today we're going to be showing you how to tie a little long shank rig. Now it's a rig that I've got a lot of faith in. I've used it extensively over the last 5 or 6 years, probably even longer. Very simple rig, and it's one that I've got a lot of faith in. Caught a lot of good fish for me. Okay, so we're going to start to tie it now. So first step, I've got my rig board here and I've got a couple of marks laid out on it. So first thing I do is just measure out how much braid I'm going to need. I take it from the tip there to the end there, and that gives me enough braid to work with to tie this rig. So when I've cut the braid, I'm going to strip back a section which I'm going to use for tying the hook onto. Now I've got some more marks on the top there, one marked for boilies, one marked for particles, and all I do is mark that off there, strip the coating off. When I strip the coating off, I quite simply just tie a small little loop which is going to create the hair. Carefully trim off the tag end. That's threaded onto there and taken up to the braided section here, or sorry, the strip back section. Tie that on using a simple overhand knot, and then using my rig board again, I can work out how long I want the hair to be. For this one's destined to have a boilie on it, so I've measured it up against the boilie length there. Then get out my chosen hook in the size 10, the one that I've got the most faith in. Before putting this hook on, it's really important that I'm going to check how sharp it is, because I don't want to go through all the wasting the time of tying a rig only to find out the hook's not sharp enough and I have to tie another one anyway. So I do this in 3 steps. First I'll just visually check the hook. I normally do this against the light just to make sure the hook point isn't blatantly turned over. I then check it on my fingernail, just making sure that it digs in. Now, I'm not using too much pressure, I don't want to blunt the point. Then finally I test it on the palm of my hand, and that's just to make sure it penetrates in well enough. So I'm happy with that hook, it's nice and sharp, so it's destined to go out into the lake tonight. Simply put the hook through the line, through the ring. Line up the end of the ring with the furthest point on the hook. Tie a knotless knot, whipping down the shank a couple of times. Then finish off the knotless knot, like so. Just bedding down the knot, making sure that the hair's coming out on the back of the hook. And that's the hardest bit done, to be honest with you. It's now simply a case of getting some shrink tubing out. Literally need the tiniest little bit of shrink tubing. I've only got a couple of millimetres here, and this is just to extend the shank out. And I'm just literally going to thread that shrink tubing just over the eye like so, leaving a little tag end to be shrunk down. Okay, just steam the rig down now, just being careful not to damage the hook link as you're doing it. Now, I don't want a too aggressive angle in the shrink tube. In fact, the angle that it curves off the eye of the hook is normally enough. Now, next step, I carefully just turn the braid like this, and this helps to keep the braid supple around that kind of combi link section there. I then get a boilie, just a standard bottom bait, and thread that onto the hair. I favour using this rig just with a standard bottom bait, but also with quite a short hair, and I feel that short hair helps when the fish are just picking up, sucking and blowing. And I've had fantastic hook holds in this size 10 here, and it just goes in, buries itself and doesn't come out. I rarely suffer hook pulls with it at all. The next stage would be getting some putty and just taking off a couple of really little bits, really small, and putting them along the length of the hook link. Obviously this will be done after tying the hook link on, so I've used this hook length from between 4 inches all the way out to kind of 8 inches. Now I often adapt it to the kind of areas that I'm fishing over. I'm fishing over a really kind of soft, silty area, I'll maybe fish it a little bit longer. If I'm placing the rig in the edge, I'll favour it really short. When it's really short, I'd favour a drop-off lead, because I don't want the lead banging around too close round to the hook. And to attach it to your chosen hook link, I'd simply just do a double overhand figure of 8. and loop it round and put it onto the hook link that way. The putty, as I mentioned, just tiny little bits just to help keep the hook link down. Helps to stop it sitting up off the bottom. And that there is my simple rig. Nothing too complicated, nice and easy to tie. Nothing revolutionary, however it works really well for me, and when it's sitting out in the lake and I hook a fish on it, I know I'm going to land them because I've got so much faith in it.